I'm just looking at the estimates right now. I'm looking at earnings estimates for Micron to show 150% year-over-year growth. And I'm also looking at the valuation. Looks like it's trading at about 15 times forward earnings. I mean, that seems like a real steal for that kind of growth.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things going on. I mean, they are in the midst of trying to pull out of a memory downturn. And so the numbers, the growth rates year over year are going to be kind of artificially inflated. Second thing is that memory stocks, because they're viewed more like commodities, where there's intense competition, high fixed capital costs, they tend to trade at a discount versus some of these higher margin, higher profit other semi companies.
Also looking at Nvidia today, having its annual shareholder meeting. We're seeing more and more bullish signs about data centers. Our Scott Cohn's actually in Louisiana talking about a data center that Meta's building that could kind of cover, it looks like, some significant parts of Manhattan, maybe the upper west and the upper east side, if you kind of tilted that map a little bit that we showed earlier. When we're talking about Nvidia going forward, what are your expectations? Can it still maintain these very lofty expectations? Does it still have the same dominance when it comes to the AI chip space?
My view is 100% yes. I personally love Nvidia right here. The fact that if you go back to middle or early of summer last year, the stock is kind of traded sideways. It's still slightly below its high, and the multiple that it's getting in the market is very low relative to its growth. I think the key for Nvidia is they're still dominating the training market with GPUs. They have the best product. It offers customers the best performance, and the demand is insatiable. So they're making and selling everything they can. And the key here is what I think is going to be almost an acceleration of their sequential quarter-to-quarter beats and raises that will come as more of this Blackwell product, their most advanced new GPU system, starts to ship in volume this quarter and then going into the back half of the year. So that's going to be the true test, and I think they pass with flying colors.
I want to ask you kind of a double-sided question. Number one, what are your top picks in the space? And also, we're talking about defense spending in recent days. Our Steve Sedgwick's at the NATO summit in The Hague, where European leaders said they're going to increase their spending on defense. Are there chip stocks that benefit from that spending in particular?
Yeah, that's a really good question. No particular semi company gets, I would say, an outsized portion of the revenue from the defense sector, just because that sector traditionally hasn't grown that fast. But there's a few companies, one in the analog space is Analog Devices, ADI, that gets some decent revenue from defense. Another one I really like that is diversified is called MACOM, MTSI, and their defense business is growing very rapidly. Again, these are probably less than 10% of their total revenues. If I zoom out and I say, what stocks do I really like the most? I say you can't really mess with the three horsemen of what's been working great, and that's Taiwan Semi. They benefit whether a customer buys an ASIC chip, which is custom, or a GPU from Nvidia. I would go with Broadcom, which is the leader in these ASIC custom chips that a lot of these cloud hyperscalers are going to start to design and develop. And then Nvidia, which I said before, I think is going to have a big improvement or acceleration in their sequential growth into the back half. Another one that you mentioned is memory. You need a ton of high bandwidth memory to run these GPU AI training systems, and that would be Micron. And then lastly, if you want to connect a lot of these GPU systems together, you need a company called Credo, CRDO.